Make a decision in your mind that this is not what I want to be, and I'm going to put everything in a place in which I'm going to ensure that my life yesterday is not my life today. And how does that start? Okay, God, I want to do this. What do I need to do? I need to make a plan.
Focus with us and see that what we're talking about is not about being easy. It requires discipline. It requires organization.
Sacrifice.
It requires sacrifice.
You've been given the tools. You have been triggered. You have been told. Okay, and now, darling, you are responsible. Oh my God! She said she said, hey guys, I'm sure you guys have been crying and complaining every day. We are here. We are currently in Athens, Greece, hence our beautiful, gorgeous surrounding. And look at the bronzing of the skin and everybody looking chocolates and lovely, man. We healthy and we're living our life out here, baby.
Come on. So this video I was inspired. I was listening to a podcast and the gentleman was saying how he attends something called a mastermind. And a mastermind is like a group of people come together, and it's like you're a certain caliber to be part of this circle. And his particular circle is a group of businessmen, a group of entrepreneurs. The simplest way I can put it for everyone to understand, like mentorship, like group mentorship. So everyone is coming with their issues and everyone's coming with their wisdom and is feeding into each other. So everyone's growing and being part of the mastermind. So I said, let's do the same thing. Like let's talk. And literally just share the piece of wisdom that we have gathered just from 23, 24 years of life, from leaving university, even being in university, being in the working world, and just help push people, motivate people to move. And you'll get what I mean by move as you watch the video. But disclaimer, this video is not supposed to. This is not a video to make it's not a tap on the shoulder. It's like move. It's not supposed to make you feel like. It's like a punch in the throat. You're supposed to hear it and be like, my ear! like, oh, she's coming for me. Yeah, that's what this is about. It's that time. We need to also change our perception of what success is, and understand that success isn't a destination, success is a road. When it comes to, let's say for example, being a writer, your first step on the road of success simply would be starting to write. You know, you are a writer, but you have written nothing. So once you have written something, okay, now you're on the road of success because you've achieved something. If you say that you want to do something, right now it's time for us to get a move on. And getting a move on doesn't necessarily mean in the sense of being a writer or being an actor or being whatever it is you want to be, right? It doesn't even mean that you have to actually start acting or start all that stuff. What getting a move on could be, or making the right steps in the right direction, is understanding that, you know what, I know what I'm called to be, I know what I want to be in life, but I can see that there's actually some things that are stopping me. So it could be things like fear, and part of you moving towards actually getting to the goal of being an actor could be addressing the self-development issues that need to be addressed, like dealing with the fear, or dealing with the anxiety, or dealing with the feeling unequipped.
One thing that I was just thinking as well, this is a scripture that I've always loved from the beginning of time since I heard it, is my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And I'm thinking, in regards to like this stuff, like people don't start because they just don't know, they just don't have the knowledge. And you don't have the knowledge because you haven't even sought it out. Like one of my mentors when I was like younger just said to me how there's like nothing new under the face of the sun or something like that, something along those lines. Like whatever you're trying to do now, somebody has had the same kind of struggles, they've been at the same crossroad. There's a wealth of information out there in the world, and you are your only like kind of stumbling block. You need to get up and just like actually just seek like what you want. Obviously the Bible says if you seek you shall find. They're just principles. Like if you want knowledge, go out and find it.
The statement of I do not know what to do is void.
It's void.
In this internet age, I'm telling you right now,
fingers.
It's void. If you're here saying, oh, you want to be a writer, you want to be a photographer, you want to be a director, you want to be a producer, you feel in your spirit, you want to know how to draw with pencils, you know how to draw with pen, you don't know how to do it, stop. As in, take that out of your mouth and throw it in the bin.
It's so tired.
Like, you cannot say that.
The information is out there, and my favorite thing to do in the whole world is to attack people on LinkedIn. And if you don't have LinkedIn, get LinkedIn. And anybody that's in a professional environment will say to you, you need to get LinkedIn. Simply why? I type in the career, the job that I want to do, or the person I want to be in about 10 years time, and I go and look at somebody else's profile and I work backwards. Okay, so they've done this, they've done this, they've done this, they've done this. Then I can have some kind of like structure into how I can attain what I want to attain, because I've seen that somebody else has attained it this way.
And I want to go on in regards to seizing the opportunity and also knowing your worth. In regards to what I'm going to be in the future, I know it's going to be very heavily business related, right? And I am now in pursuit of doing that. Beverley presented me with an opportunity, right? And said, she didn't even present it to me. She said, this is what she's doing. In my head, I saw like flashing lights, like, this is an opportunity, like, this is for you. Like, I didn't even process, like, I am doing this with you, like, this is for me. And my dad was telling me about something else that he's doing, and I was like, this is mine, I'm helping, I'm going to do this. In regards to knowing your work, everything I'm doing right now, I'm doing for free. Money could be given to somebody else about to do what I'm going to do for the businesses that I'm going to be helping out in. But it's like, you have to know your worth in the sense that I have nothing to show for who it is I say I want to be. Now I have opportunities where I can demonstrate, I can show who it is that I say I am and who it is I'm going to be. And yes, I'll be working for free, but irregardless, I'm going to do, like, this free work is building my CV.
It's an investment.
Experience is invaluable.
Yes.
And a lot of this time nowadays, young people, they always want to be, you want some salary. You bring nothing to the table. You have nothing on your CV. You have no accolades right now for this thing. So just be humble and be willing to go in there and to learn.
And graft.
There's so much that you pick up from being around people, from actually doing a job. Like, do not discredit the value of experience, because it's the biggest teacher. You can go to school and you can learn the theory, but practice is always very different. And even like if you take something like driving, you can read the books and understand how to drive. When you get into that car, do you know what to do?
No.
You have no clue. You have no idea, because the actual experience, the practicalness of doing something is when you really, really learn. So don't think that, oh, I have to be paid one, I'm not gonna work for free. You sit there, and you stay at home and you don't get anything, because nothing in this life, like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
The key thing to like kind of hone in on with these things about like with these things is some people are so short-sighted. You're so short-sighted and you have no vision. And therefore you cannot recognize their different levels of opportunity. You have things that will satisfy your immediate needs right now, and you have things that are investments for the future. And because you're so short-sighted, you cannot differentiate or see the value in an investment that is going to add value to your life. It's going to add value to your life in the future. Do you know what I mean? Money isn't what you need now. A reputation is what you need now. Is what you need now. Is to build your experience and to build up your name in these streets. If you ain't got no name,
you got nothing. One thing I've always said to myself is, arm yourself with the skills that are going to be invaluable. Therefore, I will always be required. You can send me to Australia, send me to Nigeria, put me in the middle of the rainforest. They're still going to need me, and they will pay for you at that time. I can't say you should be paying me £900 a day. What do I bring to the table? But when you recognize my skill set, she's the only person that can do what I want her to do. She's the only one that can do this calculation. She's the only one that can build a business like this. I need her. So when you have the skill set, you can go into places, you can demand, or not even demand, ask for what you want, and it shall be given, because you are worth the amount. But if you're asking for it prematurely, you'll go in there looking crazy. And don't think this person is arrogant, there's not self-aware. You're asking for things prematurely, and people then will not take you seriously at all. So get the skills that you need, and I'm telling you, there'll be no price that people won't pay for you in this lifetime. That is a fact. Okay, so another point that I wanted to go into is I'm really, really fed up in hearing or getting the inkling from people that they don't have a choice in matters. We have so many opportunities in our lives, and this kind of fits into everything that we've been saying, to make a decision that will change our lives forever. And people make it seem as if the decision won't change their lives. So for example, you want to be a writer, but you haven't started writing yet. There's a choice in that. The choice is start writing. Start writing, just do what you need to do. And we act like, oh no, like you're waiting for some supernatural angel to come and fly down and start writing in some Sanskrit to tell you that, oh, this is what you need to write. No, start writing. There's so much choice that we have in life. We have the power to choose what we want to be. We have the power to choose where we want to go. But it's like, when will you make that choice? And I say, I'm even ministering to myself tough right now because even I was in church the other day. And they were talking about purpose and like where you're supposed to be. I said, God, you're crying, you ain't gonna worship. Okay, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. God said to me, inaudibly, stop crying and just change. Just change. Because you know why? It's as simple as that.
It's just so simple.
Simple as that. Just change. You don't need a magic carpet. You don't need some supernatural visitation. Just make a decision in your mind that this is not what I want to be, and I'm going to put everything in a place in which I'm going to ensure that my life yesterday is not my life today. And how does that start? Okay, God, I want to do this. What do I need to do? I need to make a plan. Do I need to have a conversation? Do I need to read a book? But I'm going to change. It's this girl in the background. It's as simple as a decision. Yeah. It's as simple. And the thing is, people might think, oh, it's not that easy. No, some decisions are going to be hard decisions. But it's a decision nonetheless, and you have to just make it. It is a choice. Take control of your life. Like, stop letting life blow you. Everything is blowing you, knocking you around. You're tossed to and fro. It's even in the bag. You can't be tossed to and fro. Stand firm in the sun. But everything, stand firm and make a decision in your life and say that I will. Honestly, like. So many of us will crying out, I want my life to be different. Yes. My life isn't how it should be. Even if your relationship isn't how it should be, my relationship with God isn't how it should be, my friendships aren't how they should be. Everything in my life is, who do you think is responsible for this? It is you. Yeah. Grab your life by the horn. Grab it. Grip it. This is my life. I'm tired. When will you reach the place in your life where you said that I am tired? I've just come through this season, that's why I'm passionate about that, because I really don't want anyone else to be where I've been. When will you say that, God, I'm tired of going through the same things, I'm tired of seeing no results, I'm tired of coming back to this place time and time again? It is a decision. Make a choice. My life is going to change, and my life is going to change today, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that my yesterday doesn't look like today. Because why? I have the ability to. I'm telling you, make that decision. Even if in terms of like having a good day. I had a friend of mine who always say to me, oh, make a great day. And he made me realize it's because to make something is that I implement it. It's not like, oh, have like it's up to chance. It's to make, to do something, to take it, to seize carpe diem. I'm going to make this a good day. So no matter what the day throws at me, no, I've made it in my mind. I'm going to transform everything to be a positive day, for me to turn it around for me. And it's a decision. Make the decision. I want my life to change. I want to be the most successful businesswoman in the history of all businesswomen. And so I'm going to work. You see, Oprah ain't got nothing on me. That's what I'm going to be. And your mind starts to change. How you start to think about things. How you start to just go in the background. How you start to process information begins to change. It's as simple as a decision. I'm telling you. And even if you're thinking, oh, but maybe I'm depressed. I have been there. I'm depressed, but I don't want to be depressed anymore. What do I need to do to get out of the situation? Do I need to go to counselling? Have I not told people around me? What do I need to do? Do I need to speak to a doctor? Have I not? What do I need to do to make sure my life is not the same? And it may not be a monumental change immediately, but it will be a change. And just keep focusing on that change. That I do not want my life to be the same. You have to be desperate. Yes. You have to be desperate for your life to make a monumental change and for it to stick. If you want your life to change and it hasn't changed, you are not desperate enough. When will you be desperate enough to get what you want out of life and stop making excuses? We have the power to be anything in life that we want to be. That is all in the power of our choices and our decisions. Stop making excuses. Pick yourself up today and say that I don't want my life to be the same. I'm going to change. I know who I was made to be. I know who I can be, and I'm tired of not being that person. I'm fed up. It makes me annoyed. I look at myself in the mirror and say, I can be better than this, and I'm not better. When will you decide to change? Today is the day. Change your life. Make the decision and change. I'm telling you, this is a cry. Change your life. Pick up the responsibility. Drop what was behind you. Leave everything behind and say, I'm going to choose me today, and I'm going to change who I am because I know what is inside of me, and I'm going to make it happen and not rely on the atmosphere or people around me. It is in my choice and my decision, and I pick that responsibility up for myself today. Wow! Sorry.
Woo!
Holy Ghost season.
Woo! And something she just said so many things that I just need to elaborate on, yeah? People say it's not easy. Did anybody talk about something?
No one says it's going to be easy.
And I really want to cross It's not as easy as you say, as you think it is. Do you think it's easy to be a light in darkness? Do you think it's easy to go into a culture? You want to go into a culture and you're about to go in as a change agent.
It's never going to be easy.
You're coming and saying that I'm going to change the temperature of this place. I'm not gonna, in my campus fellowship, we talk about a lot being the thermostat and not the thermometer. That means I don't come in here and say this temperature's cold or this temperature's hot as in measuring it. No, I change the temperature. How can that be easy? Do you think it's easy to come in somewhere and be a wrecking ball? We're not talking about, we don't talk for the easy people.
No.
What do you not see us that's easy? What do that's simple or straightforward? That's not what we're on. We're talking to the people that are ready to turn your mindset. Focus with us and see that what we're talking about is not about being easy. It requires discipline. It requires organization. It requires sacrifice. It requires you to, listen, I know a lot of you already feel it in your spirit. You're supposed to delete Instagram. You're supposed to delete Twitter. You're supposed to delete these social medias that you are allowing to rob you of your time. You're supposed to be reading articles, reading research papers. But instead, you're monitoring the shade, not the shade room, the shade borough. Look at that.
She said shade borough, look at that. Jesus, change my story!
You're monitoring the shade borough. What does that mean? Wasting your time. Wasting your time and you want to cry? Listen, it's time like this. Take your two fingers, wipe these tears. Pull up your trowel. Oh yeah? Take your book and pen and start reading, start writing, start planning. Make a plan and start executing. It's not just about making a choice, it's about following up with the actions. Faith without works is what?
Dead! Sorry.
It's a dead thing. It's dead. Let's also talk about something else. Need versus want. A lot of us.
See the way she circled this thing?
No, I'm not going to give you catch on the camera. You have to zoom in because this was
Need versus want. I need you to move from a place of need to also want. A lot of us know what we need, but a lot of us do not actually want it. And we keep proclaiming need as if it is something that we truly desire. No, you don't desire it. You don't desire it. Let me talk to people that keep talking about, I want to have a close relationship with God. This is the easy one to come for. I want to have a close relationship with God. No, you need. And you know you need it. You know you need it, but you do not want it. Because if you wanted it, it is very simple. Oh my Jesus. Download the Bible app.
simple.
It's rocket science. The Bible app has devotion for prayer, devotion for worship, devotion for dealing with sadness, love, depression, anger, hope, joy. You can talk to your minister, you can talk to your pastor, you can go on YouTube. There's Joseph Solomon, there's Jackie Hill Perry, there's John Piper, there's this, there's that, there's this, there's that. And you want to sit here and talk about you want it. No, you don't.
You don't want anything.
You don't want it. Onto your actions. Corroborate that you want it. You have to do something. You have to move.
You know, just as a group, we're very introspective people. No, let me take it from a different angle. How are you going to be able to embody the fact that you have the ability to choose? How are you going to be able to ascertain what is a need or what is a want, and how are you going to be able to do these? I'm really big on introspection, and you need to be truthful to yourself about who you really are. Mm-hmm. This is what Uvie is saying. Be truthful about your needs and your wants. Yeah. Be truthful about the fact that you are sitting back and expecting something to happen to you. Once you're truthful to yourself, you then become responsible, and you have to do something. If after this video, you've watched this video and you've been triggered, you are completely responsible, and nobody is holding you back except from yourself. And if you go and open your mouth and tell anybody else that I want to do this or I need to do this and blah blah blah, and these things aren't happening for you, and you've watched this video, I want to tell you, miss, sir, you are a liar. You are a liar. You have to break down all of these things and tell yourself, no, I'm saying that I want to do this and I'm not doing it. And what does that make me? It makes me a liar. Yeah. And if you are comfortable being a liar, you continue to sit back and to just flow and just allow things to happen to you and allow things to come to you. But when you really
grab the ball by its horns.
Like Uvie said, pick up your trowel, wipe those tears, and be like, I am the captain of my ship. I have the ability to choose. I want to go from need to want and execution. You will then begin to do what you need to do. You've been given the tools. You have been triggered. You have been told. Okay, and now, darling, you are responsible. There's no more oblivion. There's no more I don't know. There's no more what am I supposed to do? No. Uvie has told you, I have told you, and Zoe has told you, and what should we give them a deadline as to when? Do you know what I feel like in this video?
Realistically, like
tonight.
No, realistically, if you hear this video and you feel triggered, you need to. If you're coming home from work and you're listening, as soon as you touch down in your house, in your crib, get paper and pen, and just write.
I think something that if we're talking about. It's not really anger. It's not really anger per se. It's just something that is just like, you lot are, I guess, peeing me off. It's annoying. It's annoying. Like at work, some of my colleagues, and then it's like all of us here are excellent. We wouldn't be at this institution if we were not excellent people. And it's like you just have a lack of confidence in your ability. It's just like it's a lack of confidence in your ability, and it's actually so annoying because they speak so negatively about themselves, and it's just so nonchalant. I'm such an idiot. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so this, and at first I'm just looking at them like, and then it keeps going, and I just had to pull them to the side and say, stop saying that about yourself. Like, to other people, it's like it's not that deep, but it's like this is what like power. I don't know if it's the Bible. I think it is the Bible. Out of the heart, is it out of the heart the mouth speaks or something like that? Although you're saying it so blah blah blah, this is actually what you feed to yourself. Like I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, and it's like this is why you cannot sit at the table like
that you should sit at the table
because all you do is tell yourself I'm stupid, I'm this, I should have got this right. But everybody makes mistakes, and everybody isn't 100%. People get to where they are because they continue to, like Uvie said, move forward. If you get something wrong, you just say to yourself, I got it wrong, park it in your memory, and you know you're not going to get that wrong again. It's as simple as that. So I think just like positive speaking is just such a basic thing, but it wasn't some back door, it wasn't some connects that you had. You got it hard work, like your intellect, your ability, your talent, your charisma, whatever it was, brought you here. So therefore you sit at the table like you belong here.
Some of you, you say, you know, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that. And you're like, what you know you need to go to the next level is not in front of you. But what I learned for myself is that God knows what you're ready for. God knows what you're waiting for. God sees the work that you're putting in, and He's literally like once you move, He's got what is necessary to take you to the next level there. So for me, it was just focusing my mind and starting to like read the books I'm supposed to read, starting to listen to the people I'm supposed to listen to, like the podcast, and engage with the resources I'm supposed to engage with. And once you focus on what it is to focus, you become so hyper aware about what you need to get to the next level. And God will present the opportunity to you, but you can't see the opportunity because you haven't done anything that will focus your vision. So it's time to first of all focus the vision. You need to focus it, and when you focus your vision, you will literally not only will things come in front of you for you to start to tap into, but you can see what to grab. You can see what to take hold of.
And then that goes straight into what I was saying about seize the day. Once the opportunities do come, it's very important for you to seize it, grab the opportunity like this, 2 hands, and then swallow it.
Yes, swallow it.
And sometimes as well, in terms of seizing the day, you have to create opportunities for yourself. This is why it's so important to know who you are, know your worth, know your capabilities, and know what you can do. This is why I'm saying it's so important, like being proud of your accolades and knowing that you can do it. Because again, we're in a meeting, the pharmacists are talking about they need to train a group of nurses in order to do something correctly because things aren't being done to the standard that it's supposed to be doing. Me and one of my colleagues were sitting there as the pre-reggers. Like a lot of time, the pre-reggers don't really give much input because You're more like a trainee. And I'm sitting there thinking, I can do this. I can make you a template. I can train the nurses. Like, I know what I'm doing here, and I know I can do it to a fantastic standard. And I just put my hand up and said, I can do it for you. They're like, okay, do it. And I did it, and now it's being implemented in the hospital. It's being implemented in the hospitals. It's
not
being
just one
implemented.
hospital.
Yeah,
Plural, baby.
and it's just like, I could have sat there and just thought to myself, I can do this, and just maybe hopes that somebody would realise that this is within my remit, that I'm capable of doing it. But no, I literally seized the day. Now when I leave that place, although I'm not working there, people know this girl is what? Excellent.
Yeah.
And serious.
A lot of people are like, they're not getting where they want to be because they're not taking opportunities.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't, but these situations in my life, they don't really come about. Actually, have a look closer, they probably do. When those things present themselves, rather than thinking, I can't do it, just take an opportunity and say that I can. Once my manager told me before I left work, he's just like, when you're presented with a situation that you're thinking, oh, this is going to be really difficult, I don't even know if I have the skill set to do it, to make sure you do it, because that's when you really get the best out of yourself, because that's when you learn the most. And you really shock yourself into how much that you can do and how much you can achieve. So if you're thinking there's no situations, think about all the different times in your life, maybe something has presented itself and you thought, oh, this is too hard, I can't do this. Next time something comes up and you're thinking, oh, this is challenging, make sure you take it and make sure that you do it.
I was talking to a young lady and I was asking her about pretty much who she is, and this young lady didn't want to say anything about who she is and what she was able to do. And this lady is a gifted lady. She can do a lot, and she wouldn't say what she was doing, but her friends were able to say what she was gifted at doing. And I had to let her know that there's actually a difference between humility and stealing glory from God, because God has gifted you with the ability to do everything that you're doing. And we think it's humility when we don't speak about what we are able to do. And like Beverly said, there is actually a time and a place, and right now there is a place where you need to open up your mouth and say, you know what, this is who I am, I do this, I do that. What you do to yourself when you don't proclaim who you are and your abilities is you steal opportunities from yourself. You have to understand that, like right now, particularly in this day and age, everything is a job interview. It's no longer a thing of, oh, you're waiting to speak to someone that's in their 50s because that's the kind of person that can employ you. No, I can employ you. I can employ you. I can decide today I'm going to do an event and I need a keyboardist, I need a guitarist, I need an MC, and I can right now think of, if I need a writer, I know I can call Cairo to be my writer. If I need a cook, I know I can call Daniel. How do I know these people? Because they just told me. I just asked them, what do? You just say what you do, right? So when you're here doing this whole, you know yourself that you can sing, you're called to be a singer, and people ask you who you are, and you don't want to say pimp, you are robbing yourself of future opportunity, and we need to stop that thing. Now, another thing in regards to forward thinking is we need to understand the importance of time versus money and immediate gratification. I told these guys here, at work, the normal thing to do as a pharmacist, particularly in a hospital, is get a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. I didn't want that. I would work 3 days a week, but I wanted a job that gives me to work 4 days a week. Why? Because, and the woman was talking to me, I was telling kind of like a mentor kind of lady about that. I wanted 4 days a week. She's like, oh, telling me about money and whether I can afford it. I wasn't telling her this, but I tell you this. There's a time in your life where time is more valuable than money. I do not need to spend another day working. What I need to do is have time to spend another day reading, because I promise you, when I learn what I need to learn, every Friday that I've missed off for the year, I will make it back in about 2 weeks max, when I learn what I need to learn. So for those of you particularly young ones, particularly when it comes to summer, just jumping in a 9 to 5, working Monday to Friday, what you need to do, because you come home exhausted, you can't do nothing, you need to sit down. You need to strategize. You need to plan, start thinking about the bigger picture. What is it in my future that I'm called to be, or what is it that I want to do? How can I start now? How can I start implementing things right now? Not just literally getting sucked into what they call the rat race and working, coming home exhausted. Particularly if you're young, you don't have to do that now. Your parents Pay the bills.
Yeah.
Okay, not a phone bill, calm. Work as much as you need to work in order to pay for the bills that you have to cover, and give yourself the time to strategize for the future and learn for the future. Do not be sucked in to this perception of I must work every hour of the day. No, you are robbing yourself and you're robbing your future. So in regards to trauma, right? So God takes you out of a situation, and I know a lot of people, they somehow they've been, literally they've dealt with it, and now they find themselves in a situation where what they went through, they're seeing a lot of people around them that are going through the same thing. It's like, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? You are here to grab those people out and say, you know what, I got out of this, and let me take you with me. Now you're at 60, yeah? Maybe at the age of 30 or the age of 25, you're actually supposed to get, try and recover from the situation. And between the age of 20 to 60, there were about how many, I don't have to make it to thousands, because it hasn't got to be that. It could be 5 people, it could be 2 people, it could be 1 person, but you recovering was supposed to allow you to be able to touch and impact 1 person's life. Because we are allowing the past to keep us hostage to the past, what should have happened in your life and also happened in the life of others hasn't taken place. We can't allow that. We cannot allow that. We cannot be, you are complicit to your demise at this point.
Yeah.
Somebody has inflicted me, someone has done this to me. Yes, they have done that. But what am I now going to do about my future? What am I going to have to say? Like, a lot of responsibility. It's happened. What next? What am I going to do?
Say that, man. What next? What next?
What am I going to do? I'm going to do something I'm going to be proud of. I'm going to do something that I'm going to say, you know what, the enemy really tried to rob me. Really tried to rob me. Really tried to rob me. But look at me now.
No, big one. So even there's a lady listening to on a podcast called Patrice Washington, and when she said it the first time, I just thought it was so profound. Like, even though it seems quite obvious, but she said, rather than looking at a situation like what is happening to me, say what is happening for me. Because what that does, it takes you out of a position of being a victim and it allows you to be a victor, because you see the situation that you're in as something that can help grow you and help develop you and arm you with some characteristics and attributes they didn't have before. It tells you that this challenge is something that I can use for glory, rather than something I will be using to hold myself in a situation that I shouldn't have been in, if you know what I mean.
We went to an event, right? And the speaker said, where is the richest place on earth? Everybody's thinking, it's Canada.
Dubai, maybe.
And then he said, the richest place on earth is the grave.
Let that sink in.
Let that sink in. The richest place on earth is the grave. Why? Because the grave has potential. People died with their potential to be doctors. People died with their potential to be lawyers. People died with their ability to be the next Steve Jobs. They died with their ability to be property moguls.
What?
They died with their ability to be artists. They died with their ability to be ministers. They died with their abilities to be philanthropists, because they just sat there and waited for things to happen to them.
Yeah.
They did not want, they did not move. They did not move. Now the grave and the soil is sucking the energy. It's taking back the energy that God put into them when He formed them from the soil.
What?
You want your potential, and you want all your gifts and all of the characteristics and the attributes and the desires that God has placed you to go into the grave. Just watch this video, close it, and go about your life the way you're doing it. You cannot expect changed results unless you move, unless you change, unless you get up and do something, unless you seek, you will never find, unless you knock, the door will never be open. So all I can say is decide what you want to do now. Do you want to die with your potential, or do you want to manifest it? And that is what's your choice. That is, you have the ability to choose today, not today, what you're going to do
today. Tomorrow is late. Choose today.
Tomorrow is too late.
So if you don't decide to pick up the baton today, your books are going to the grave. Your £10,000 worth of artwork are going to the grave. Hell, your children might be going to the grave because they might die of poverty. You're not thinking about your family and how you can provide for generations.
Literally, as I say, generational impact is going to the grave. Particularly us lot that are like Black, African, British, first of our kind in this place. You have the opportunity to impact 5 generations on. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Your actual potential to actually enter government and change policy,
Change lives,
is
change
going
situations.
to the grave. To the grave. Your actual ability to actually just invent and create, I saw light bulb, literally there are inventions. There are things that do not exist yet because you don't want to move. Going to the grave. Jesus.
To the floor.
Jesus, going to the grave.
You have to wake up, it's critical.
There is technology going to the grave. I even thought of just now that there's you know when you think about food shortages, there's actually someone that has solutions things that will actually be able to sustain humanity.
Cure
to
for
the grave.
genetic diseases. Cure for sickle cell. People! For sickle cell. Even if no cure, one of you has it inside of your brain right now. You know that.
And you're sitting there.
Sitting
there.
Watching.
Thinking,
looking.
I'm an imposter. You have a responsibility.
You have a responsibility. Move.
You